The divine masculine is walking through that fire today. There is going to be a tower moment that is going to break down every illusion that he once hid behind. Meanwhile, divine feminine, I do feel you are experiencing a surge of unexpressed desires. Perhaps you're just learning to honor your own joy without apology. But I think between both of the twins here, the energy is loud. There is something being woven in the silent thread of that soul knowing. And so where words often fail, intuition will speak. And so right now, this is not really a breakdown, but the twins are going through a major divine activation. Are you ready to receive today's message? Let's start by breaking down the astrology, and then we will go further with this tarot breakdown. Hit that like button and let's get right into it. Hey, good morning. Welcome in. Welcome back, everybody. It is Laura, and we are going to break down the astrology chart for today's energies because we do have the sun in Gemini in a sextile to Neptune in Aries at 1 degree orb 40, and this is the energy of the Magician with the Page of Cups. And so today's energy does carry with it a very alchemical, fiery energy, and this is the turning point for that potent healing connected to the polarity because of the Gemini energy and that timeline for transmutation as we prepare for Saturn to enter into Aries in just a couple more days. And so if you think of the sun energy, the sun is the light shining down on the purpose. It is the energy of our self-image. It's the core identity. And it's also that confidence and that self-expression. And Neptune is the dream, the collective dream. It's the imagination, it's creativity, and it is our experience of spirituality. And we do have Neptune currently sitting in the 10th house, and we do see the ascendant sitting in Cancer at 10 degrees 10, completion energy coming through today. And so right now I feel we're in a very mystical yet forward acting energy, right? And so the Magician and the Page of Cups energy, that was the tarot vibration of this transit, and this is divine downloads. I want to say it's divine downloads. It's spiritual and emotional intelligence being activated. It is the heart awakening. It is the brand new beginning in love. It is the manifestation through that aligned action. And so I do feel with Neptune and Aries, this is the visionary energy. This is the psychic future-oriented transit that we have been striving towards. And the sun in Gemini is bringing in that mental clarity today. I feel there could be communication. There could be curiosity. Sextiles are harmonious energy. And with Neptune freshly in Aries, I do feel this really is an activation, right? Where we receive these intuitive downloads. The 10th house is connected to the energy of our public image. And I do believe these intuitive downloads are bringing forward a very fiery, fearless, edgy energy today from the cosmos. And so Neptune in Aries is not going to just sit back and dream passively like it did in the sign of Pisces. This is initiation energy. This is spiritual truth. This is courageous inner knowing. And so for the twin flames, this is all about translating our divine wisdom into that practical motion. The Magician energy, right? The Magician has all of the tools to create the reality that he desires, he or she desires. And so right now we are receiving these higher love codes, and there could be messages coming through from the counterpart. It can be in 3D, it can be in 5D, but there is a reactivation is what it feels like of this psychic connection in real time. Pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to the sudden pings of the knowing of what is real, of what is not real through your thoughts and through your feelings. And so the veil between that mental clarity today, I want to say, and the spiritual truth is going to be dissolving. And so there could very well be sudden communication as the divine masculine is feeling inspired to take that action. But you are going to know what is real today in these energies. We also have Venus in Aries in a trine to Mars in Leo at 15 degrees 59, and this is the energy of the devil and the Five of Swords. And so there is this alchemical passion, I want to say, being activated. There is this purification of desire, and there are ego entanglements coming up to be transmuted in the fire energy, okay? And so this is pure, raw, sacred polarity energy. And whenever there's a trine between Venus and Mars, it does open up a portal, but something here is going to feel like a burning. And so something might need to be burned to the ground. Venus in Aries, this is bold, this is direct, this is assertive energy, especially in love. And with Mars and Leo, it can be very grand, it can be proud, and it can be very expressive. And so together, these energies are combining a combustible energy, is what I want to say, and breaking down the egoic structures that are no longer aligned in these divine soul contracts. And so this isn't just about passion today. It is about rebirth through the fire. It is about purification through fire. And so this is the transmutation of the trauma bonded relationships, of the third party attachments, the shame-fueled sexuality, and all of these power struggles connected to emotional manipulation. And so all of these need to be burned down to ashes. That's what the devil card is reminding us, right? It's reminding us, hey, where have we been enslaved to our toxic desires, right? And the Five of Swords really is asking us today to drop the ego battles and to walk away from false victories, right? Because you think of the Five of Swords, it's like, I'm going to win at all costs and it doesn't matter who I hurt. We got to drop that facade, okay? And so this trine is not just about attraction between the counterparts. It is a test, I feel. It is a test. It is the energy of burning through the fire and refining anything that has been burnt down so we can rebuild it on solid ground. And so there is an alchemical transformation taking place today between desire and spiritual clarity of purpose. And so there is a deep energetic realignment taking place in these energies today. And I do feel this is the breaking free of all of the toxic patterns so we can begin to choose that higher love over these fear-based attachments. And so divine feminine, telepathic communication is going to be heightened, whether it's with your higher self, your guides, or your counterpart in the energies today. So expect those dream visitations, expect those channeled messages to come through very loudly. It just brought forward this energy of deja vu, especially connected to the counterpart. And I do feel a very sexual energy being activated within the sacral chakra. And this is going to trigger your creative power in the energies today. And so you might feel those waves of Kundalini energy rising through your chakra body. This is the sacred fire, and we can't repress it. We can't project it. We do have to channel this Kundalini energy into creative endeavors. And so the message for you, Divine Feminine, is trust in the past heartbreak that is being transmuted. And so there could be a sudden release. There could be a sudden surge of creative inspiration. It's almost as if all of the years of pain are going to be composting into this fuel for the fire, okay? And so honor that flame within Divine Feminine. Allow it to burn away all of the illusions, all of the feelings of unworthiness, and trust that your love will no longer be tethered to the energy of suffering, okay? Divine Masculine, your karmic cycles, they are combusting today. So all of these temptation loops, all of these old sexual toxic dynamics and desires, all of this avoidance through the lustful cycles, all of this ego projection and detachment and avoidance is all going to be burned up in the fiery energies today. And so I do feel the masculine is going to be in a state of deep emotional rawness. It could even trigger rage connected to all of the regret, especially connected to the missed opportunity with the Divine Feminine and all of his hurtful behavior towards the feminine in the past. And so this masculine fire, it is being rebirthed, but this is not through domination or suppression. And so this is the masculine being pulled into the authentic passion of truth speaking and his courage to love rightfully, okay? And so I do feel the masculine really is confronting that mirror of the devil, of the toxic desires, in order to reclaim his fire in that service of truth, not control. And so right now, the integration and the embodiment practices for the twins would be that energetic cord cutting. So I don't really believe in cord cutting per se, but unhooking yourself from the old past partners, the old patterns of the karmic entanglements. Really hone in on automatic writing today. That will really help you, Divine Feminine, channel your higher self and the counterpart's higher self. We're doing a lot of root and sacral chakra clearing and healing. So move your body, dance, breathe, meditate, transmute all of this frustration into art, music, prayer, or journaling, okay? Because today is the day of the crucible, is what it feels like, in order to bring that clarity through this combustion, okay? So this is where our vision meets the flames of fire, and our spirit will meet the flesh. So ego is going to meet the soul. And so right now we're all being asked, what kind of love are you choosing? Are you choosing healthy, reciprocal, authentic love, or are you choosing trauma bonded toxic attachment in love? Can you hold that desire without playing into distortion? And are you ready to actually communicate from truth and not fear? Because the twin flame path is not about avoiding the burning of the fire. It is about becoming the flame so it no longer burns us, okay? So let's dig a little bit further into the cards, and let's talk about what these energies have in store for the Twin Flame Collective today. If you would like to go further on your journey with a personal reading, do check out the link below to my webpage. If you're not quite ready to book in a reading, I do have a free downloadable guide, the 15 Basics of Understanding Your Birth Chart. If you're new to astrology, it might help you follow along with the astrological portion of the reading. So comment down below free guide, and I will send you the link to download the free guide. And I do also have an ebook all about the twin flame stages and phases and how to master the twin flame journey like a pro. If you would like to download that book, comment twin flame ebook down below, and I will also send you that link. But let's get into these cards and let's see what the cards have to say today. Okay, we do have quite the potent spread again today that I am going to break down, and we are going to start with the Source Dragon Oracle card that did come out for the Divine Masculine Collective. And as the card says, it attunes you to the infinite. It says, be still in the silence, magic can happen. Be in the moment. And so I do feel this is astrologically linked to the Venus and Aries trine Mars in Leo energy. That's really what I feel is happening here. And so the dragon card does speak to the divine masculine's soul level confrontation with his ego structures. And I feel particularly where he has used distractions like lust, power, and avoidance to kind of bypass that inner silence. And so the stillness of the Source Dragon card today is calling for the divine masculine to meet his truth, free from the ego. And this does begin by transmuting that fire into purpose. And so I do feel a big question to ask is what truth is being revealed through this stillness? I'm wondering, because it kind of does feel like the divine masculine is releasing something. What is it? And I do feel the fire is kind of rising now when it comes to being of service, especially releasing that control energy. And so divine feminine, you received the silver lunar dragon. I love it because the divine feminine actually is the energy of the gravitational pull of the moon. And this speaks of bathing you in that divine feminine light. And so you are coming into balance. Practice peace, practice cooperation, practice harmony, because I do feel you are expanding within your chakra system, right? This is definitely connected to the Kundalini energy. And so I do feel there is a heightened psychic connection of telepathy. And there's a lot of creative Kundalini flow coming through for you today, Divine Feminine. And so you are asked to become the channel, right? The Divine Feminine is the channel, not the chaser. And so the lunar light dragon is balancing your emotional body today. It is allowing this divine wisdom to flow effortlessly through your Kundalini pathway, through your chakra energy. And so what is it that's awakening for you, Divine Feminine? Let me know down below. What pain are you alchemizing into some new creative inspiration? I'm curious. Let me know, because your creative power is calling you right now, Divine Feminine, okay? And then we did get 2 cards out for the combined energies between the twins today, and I kind of had a little bit of a chuckle because we did get the aquamarine dragon from Neptune, and we do have that Neptunian energy playing out today, right? And so we do have the sun in a sextile to Neptune, and we got the rainbow dragon. And whenever I see a rainbow, I feel blessings. I also feel after the storm comes the rainbow, the blessings. And so these 2 cards are pretty potent as combined energies for the twins. And so the aquamarine dragon from Neptune is enabling the twins to access their deepest soul wisdom today. This is spirituality, this is wisdom, this is developing your psychic abilities and receiving that soul knowledge. And the rainbow dragon brings forward that leap of joy that does open up the new doorways for the twins. And so have trust, rediscover that wisdom. I want to say expect those miracles, because there is going to be an opportunity around the corner. And so collectively, the energy in the Twin Flame Collective is spiritually rich. And it's very soul deep, I want to say. And so there's a quantum leap here that is possible today, but it's going to require trust. It's going to require receptivity, and it's going to require grounding, because the bottom of the deck was the Earth Dragon. And so these 2 dragons combined together speak of shared downloads between the twins, synchronicities. So if you're receiving the synchronicity of 111, 888, 999, 777. The counterpart is going to be seeing those same synchronicities, okay? This is, I feel, the energy of timeline jumping. And I do feel the Neptunian dragon really is governing the 5th dimensional energies between the twins. And the rainbow dragon is bringing it back down into the 3rd dimensional reality. And so what downloads have you been receiving? Let me know down below the downloads that you have been receiving, because I do feel a miracle is being activated between the twins, but I do think it's going to require mutual surrender. And then the earth dragon, I love it. And so the earth dragon actually clears the path. The earth dragon clears the path and the land around you so you can move forward. And so this is the integration of the fiery energy of Venus and Mars in that trine and the air spirit of Gemini and Neptune. And then I do feel this is the anchoring energy. Okay. And so there's an anchoring frequency hidden below the surface where all of these psychic gifts and these passionate energies between the counterparts is heightened. And I do believe this is what makes it real. But we have to make it real. We have to take grounded action. And so there is hidden progress here. And it's all happening below the surface. And so there's a lot of karmic debris being cleared, but movement will be possible again very soon. So what grounded steps are you being asked to take? What karmic debris is finally clearing in your personal journey? Let me know down below, because there is a lot of unseen progress here happening in the twin flame connection today. Okay, let's break down the tarot spread because it's deep. And we are going to start off with the Divine Masculine Collective first. The first card out for the Divine Masculine, there we've got it, that Seven of Swords in reverse. Not the best card in the tarot deck, right? And it is connected, I feel, to that recent moon in Aquarius transit. We had the moon transit through Aquarius earlier this week. And so this, I want to say, is the mask removal. This is the ego surrender, where he can no longer hide behind the mental games, the avoidance, the denial. This is asking the Divine Masculine to embody radical vulnerability through this breakthrough energy, where he can see his own self-deception and his own karmic avoidance and bring that forward to the light with that fresh clarity, right? It's the energy of he can't lie to himself anymore. And let's face it, the truth does usually hurt, but the truth does set us free, right? Then we got the Three of Wands in reversed. And I do feel this is the activation card. This is the solar activation, the heart awakening, the vision realignment energy. And so I do feel a lot of his future at one point in time was shaped by his ego desires. And now the vision of love is shifting inward. Kind of feels like the rug might have recently got pulled out from underneath the Divine Masculine. And now he's going to have to emotionally confront everything that he's avoided connected to real intimacy, devotion, and taking that emotional risk before his ships kind of sail away without him. And it's almost like he thought he was waiting for something, but the real journey is actually going deep into the heart, right? Seven of Wands, the next card out, and this is connected to Mars and Leo. And we do have Mars currently transiting in Leo, and this is how he reclaims his power. This is him finding his spiritual backbone, and hopefully it's returning. He's no longer fighting for an image, I feel, or for control. This is about fighting for that soul-aligned truth. This is the sacred masculinity within the Divine Masculine waking up. So he's no longer toxic. He's no longer avoidant. He's willing to stand in that truth, to defend that truth, to defend this connection, even if it's going to burn down everything in the path that is no longer serving this union. And then the Tower, Mars energy, initiation. This is his soul demanding that alignment. This is his soul saying everything that he built on that illusion, whether it's a relationship, a belief, a system, a career path, is going to be struck by that lightning, and it's going to come in at lightning speed. But this is actually that initiation into that truth, into that divine fire that I talked about. And so everything is falling away in order for him to rise from the ashes like that phoenix. And so I do feel this spread is potent. It's saying his ego is crumbling and there's truth kind of erupting, and his sacred masculine fire is being asked to be reclaimed. And so what oftentimes looks like destruction is actually, I want to say, a divine intervention in order to redirect him to his higher purpose. Okay, so Divine Feminine, interesting first card out for you. the Emperor in reversed. This is the ping energy. This is the masculine mirror. I think you're actually getting this claircognizant inner wisdom, that ping, ping, ping. And it's like you are feeling the divine masculine's collapse. It's getting very clear in the downloads that you're receiving. The reversed emperor could also reveal divine feminine, your own inner masculine imbalance, though, where maybe you have overcompensated or tried to over control or even have suppressed your softness, okay? But I do think you are feeling the divine masculine being broken open, and I do think it's breaking you open too, okay? 9 of Wands. This one's come out quite a bit lately for you, divine feminine. This is your sacred wound. This is the wounded healer activation. This is your emotional resistance, or your emotional resilience, I want to say. So this is you really stepping into the warrior energy. Yes, we all have scars, but guess what? They don't defeat us, right? There is this inner child pain, I think, that is serving as gas on the fire, or fuel for the burning of the fire. And so you are in the rising energy, not in a state of defense, I feel, but in a place of like sacred remembrance. You're not broken, right? We're never, ever really broken. We're just becoming, right? And so you're kind of in the energy of becoming, right? I want to say death becomes her. The 9 of Cups in reversed. It is connected to Jupiter and Pisces. This, I want to say, is the Kundalini rise. And so there is a creative release here. There could be emotional overflow. There could be what you thought once, what once would fill your cup or fulfill you is shifting, right? Maybe your fantasy of what wish fulfillment was at one point in time is being released because you're kind of being called to embody your magic. You're not here to wait for somebody to validate your wish fulfillment. And so your Kundalini energy is asking you to create and stop coping, right? Your joy is never going to be dependent on this union. It is your divine inheritance to embody the energy of joy, okay? Divine feminine. 6 of Cups, the last card out for you, Scorpio energy. We do have Lilith currently transiting in Scorpio. This is the heart-led action. You are being called to integrate. There's authentic love here. There's inner child integration. Oftentimes the 6 of Cups, I can call it like the patterns card, the patterns from childhood. But there's deep soul remembrance here. And so it's this energy of you returning to that innocence of your childhood essence, where you can love without conditions. You can love without the mask. And this is the emotional truth that you're being called to embody without any pretenses. And so I just feel this is like a green light for you to move forward. A green light, right? To choose love over fear. Even if it's just choosing yourself right now, right? Even if it's just choosing to be alone right now, and that's okay. Because I kind of feel you're in this energy of transmuting a lot of pain into your power, right? Surrendering the fantasy for the real joy and receiving that divine clarity about your sacred path, even if the divine masculine's world is still crumbling, okay? The combined energy, very interesting, connected to the twin flame mirror today. The 5 of Swords in reversed is what I want to call today the shared karmic pattern breaking. So this is the mutual surrender, right? There's no more blaming. There's no more bitterness. There's no more self-sabotaging. The twins have to drop all of the weapons, right? In order to begin to kind of meet in the middle, soul to soul. We both create distortion at certain points on the journey, and we both deserve peace in our lives, okay? The King of Swords in reversed, I feel, is the telepathic union, and how absolutely fitting, because the divine masculine usually blocks and ghosts and creates that silence in the 3D, but there's still that 5D connection between the twins, right? And although you may be in no contact or in no communication or miscommunication in the physical, the energetic bond is always active and alive in the 5D through dreams, songs, signs. The messages are always flowing telepathically between the twins. Even when the divine masculine says nothing, you can still hear him, divine feminine. And I do believe that is vice versa. Okay. Three of Cups in reverse. I like this Three of Cups because it's an indication of the masks falling off, right? No more hiding. This is the alchemical fire. This is the end of the third party energies, the third party interference. It's all clearing, whether it's a karmic relationship or an addiction or a distraction. The distortion is being burned away. What was once fun or numbing is no longer going to satisfy either of the counterparts. And all that will remain after the third party energies are cleared is soul love. And so nothing will ever fill the void of the separation between the counterparts. Truth is what really is going to remain after this shift, I feel today. The High Priestess as the last card out of the mirrored energy, and it's connected to the moon in Pisces, and I don't know for sure, but I think the moon is still transiting through Pisces. And so I do feel this is the twins stepping into that mystical union, that deep alignment, that divine inner knowing. There is an energetic alignment beyond the 3D right now happening, and we are always guided by our intuition towards that higher purpose. And so this is telepathy, this is Kundalini, this is deep remembrance. It says darkness into darkness, the key to all mysteries. And so it is within the dark that we go into the remembrance of the soul mission. And so both of the twins have to remember who they are. And we do that in the silence. This is how we activate and develop our psychic abilities, is in the silence. And so I think the twins right now are burning down the karmic illusions, uniting in dream space. Really, there's an energy coming through very strongly in dream space and shifting into that higher octave of love, right? So let's talk about the foundation, the hidden alchemy of the bottom of the deck. The Palace of Wands, and I've said it before and I will say it again when this card comes out. This is the Ace of Wands on steroids. And so there is a sacred temple of divine fire being built within both of the twins. And then we go right from that Ace of Wands on steroids to the Ace of Cups. And so this is the new emotional beginning that is waiting for the twins once the storm clears. The Knight of Swords in reversed, I feel there's delays. There's delays, but any delays and detours, actually, it is to protect the divine timing of these unions. The Two of Pentacles, the energies are being realigned. They are being rebalanced. And both of the twins do need to learn how to ground themselves. So ground yourself in these energies because they are intense, to say the least. And last but not least, the Ten of Pentacles. The end goal isn't just about love, right? It is about leaving that legacy for the future. It is about our soul family. It is about our mission. It is about service, okay? And so right now, the Twin Flame Collective is undergoing a lot of ancestral clearing connected to old legacies. There's a fire rebirth happening. There's soul contract reignition. All of the chaos is part of the sacred journey, even when the silence is deafening. The promise is still there, right? And so as the Divine Masculine undergoes this tower that burns away the pride, the illusion, and reclaims his sacred fire, the Divine Feminine is feeling it, I want to say, in her bones today. And through that pain, she's awakening her own inner magic, right? And both of the twins are receiving like a mirrored download energy today. Slowly but surely, this union will be inevitable. Everything is already happening according to divine timing, okay? So let's break down the messages from the universe. I did use the Spiritual Journey Oracle deck by Lightworker Tarot and Oracle on YouTube. And I got the Void in reversed with the Seeker card and the Empowerment card on the bottom of the deck. And so there's always going to be this energy where we need to learn to let it be. Even in the silence, it's sacred, right? And so I feel the Void card today is a really powerful reminder to stop grasping for the answers, right? Stop grasping. The universe is, I want to say, in midweave, because we do have the Seeker, right? And so right now it's kind of this energy of being in that liminal space where nothing seems to be happening on the surface, but profound transformation actually is happening underneath the surface. And so I do feel this directly aligns to the High Priestess card that came through, which is connected to unseen shifts, divine timing, and that, I want to say, that mystical gestation. And I do feel the reversal also is signaling the resistance, right? We can't force the clarity. We have to kind of surrender to the clarity. And so silence is actually not abandonment, right? It is actually this energy, I want to say, of incubation. And this to me is really connected to the Gemini energy. It is speaking of being both the student and the teacher. So stay curious, stay humble. The seeker is that Gemini coded archetype, right? It is the intellectual curiosity, the spiritual exploration, and the devotion to learning. But the shadow side of Gemini is staying devoted to learning and not stepping in to the teaching role, right? This is the teacher of the teacher card. And so when it comes to this twin flame dynamic, we are always learning, whether it's learning how to love, learning how to trust, or learning how to walk in our soul truth. And the moment you think you've had it figured all out, guess what? There's going to be a door closing and you're going to be brought to a new revelation and the next level of your seeking and your learning journey, because we never stop learning. We never stop growing. And so be open to the synchronicities, be open to being teachable, stay open to being teachable, because life will show you how to love better if you are open to that, right? And take the next step. Own your path. Own your power, because it is sacred, right? After the void and the seeker comes the moment of activation. And this does speak to conscious embodiment, soul sovereignty, self-responsibility. And I think the divine masculine is learning through this tower, this breakdown, that he needs to reclaim his fire, while the divine feminine is learning all about embodiment through the Kundalini energy rising. And so there's a lot of transmutation in the energies today. And I want to say power never, or your power is never going to come from controlling anything, right? Your power is always going to come from aligning. We're not here to wait. We're here to choose ourselves. And so let the void hold you. Let your curiosity lead you. Let your power guide you, because we are being rewoven into the highest timeline. But we can't be chasing after union. We have to become the embodiment of union within ourselves. And so allow the space, the silence, and the longing to encompass you, because it is a holy part of the journey. And we both need to become the light that we once sought or looked for in the other. And so pretty powerful messages coming through today. Are you ready to go further with a personal reading? Check out my link below for my webpage. If you're not ready for a personal reading, that's okay. Maybe you want to join us over on the membership side of the channel. I do go live every Thursday at noon. You still have time to join the membership and get in on today's live, where I do pull into all 12 zodiacs. I'm no longer doing monthly zodiacs. The channel beyond the membership is going to be a soul-led sacred space for the Twin Flame Collective, but I do still pull into all 12 zodiacs every Thursday. So if you're ready for that, head on over and check out the membership side. I hope you have a great day, everybody, and I do look forward to seeing you all again next time.